where that's concerned. So would you please welcome to the front the one and only Lilly Gibbs.
Oh, you can do better than that. How are we? Amazing. Okay, so please excuse me because I don't do well on heels. So just to make sure that we are in the right energy to receive this information, if you are able to stand, I'm going to ask you to stand up, please. And I'm going to ask you to give me a big wave. So we're shaking out those arms. Give your legs a little move, just to wake up that energy and shift it, because we have been sat down for a little while. Okay, and I want you to turn to the person to your right and give them a big smile. Show those pearly whites off. And that's exactly why the smile is absolutely infectious. Okay, and then turn to the person to your left and give them a big high five and say, let's do this. High five. Oh, God. Say smack your wife in the head. Alright, okay, so let's take a seat. Thank you so much for that on board. Okay, so some of you know me, some of you don't. I'm Lilly. I am a wife. My husband is unfortunately not here today because he is looking after the kids. I am a SEN mama bear, and I am a chronic illness warrior. And more recently, I am transitioning into a self-love and mindset coach. Now, I was a secondary school teacher for 10 years. And unfortunately, the more I was in the role, I realised that our education system doesn't serve the mental health of our children or ourselves as teachers. So I increasingly became disheartened, depressed, and eventually I burnt out. Now the problem that I had was every time I sort of asked and had an issue with this, I was told by leadership that that's just the way it is. So for 10 years, I carried on feeling like a failure, like I was weak, and like I wasn't good enough. Did you not? So, yeah, I realised that something had to change, and just because that was the way it was, I still knew it wasn't right. So in 2019, I quit teaching, and I started my journey, which actually started here with VivaMK, or back then it was Clean Easy, and my mum and dad introduced me to the world of personal development. And in 2019, I really took this up, and I started my recovery and a journey which is still continuing of self-discovery and growth. And I learned to love myself and put myself and my values first, so that I started living my life by my design and not anyone else's. So this talk is actually about manifesting the life of your desires. And it's when I started doing this that I realised that I had accidentally, for a lot of my life, been manifesting things that I wanted, but didn't really understand why or how. So this was our vision board of our wedding. In 2019 we got married. This was the vision board. You can sort of see other bits around it. This was the actual photos from our wedding. You can see that they are very, very similar. Okay? Not necessarily a lot of evidence on its own, but this, when I started really thinking about it, this became our new vision board. Unfortunately, this photo doesn't show it, but down in this section here was a picture of a baby, because we just got married and we were looking to have another child, and it was a blue-eyed girl. If any of you have seen pictures on Facebook of my daughter, who is 22 months now, she has the bluest eyes. It's incredible. There is also, in that corner, a picture of Vegas, because Stephen wanted to go to Vegas for his 40th birthday. In April, we will be going to Vegas for his 40th birthday. Now the big one that makes me go, oh my God, this stuff is really real, this house. I want you to focus on these two sections, okay? So this was the front of the house that I kind of envisioned. I kind of had a little bit of research and I liked the look of that one on that particular road. And this was a little bit of a vision board for on my kitchen. I was very specific. As you saw on the vision board, each room of the house had its own mini vision board. I was very clear on what I wanted. 2 weeks ago, me and Stephen exchanged contracts on this house. We will be moving into this house in 2 weeks. It is on that road. That, believe it or not, is not the same house from that photograph. It's on the same road, but it's not the same house. And my kitchen, it actually still scares me. So when I started thinking about what do I know, what is it about this manifestation process that I can share? And it's a few things that I want to share with you today is the stumbling blocks. A lot of people know about the law of attraction, bit of manifestation, but I realised in my journey there are key stumbling blocks that people get stuck on. So the first one that you really need to get clear on is your vision. Okay? Now the four main parts of this is to be clear and specific. That's pretty obvious. Now you can see from my vision board, I was that clear and that specific. I could visualise each room of my house. And I knew it was happening. My daughter, I knew the colour of her eyes. Weird, but I did. Okay? So you need to be really clear. Now I'm going to ask you to bear with me, particularly the men, because there is an analogy here that my mentor uses, and I love it because I can imagine my husband's face. So I want you to imagine asking your partner to go out and buy you a dress. Men, bear with me. Apart from Jeff, because we know that he likes one. Could you imagine what you got back? I know I could imagine what I got back, and it isn't what I would want. Now you'd have to give them specific instructions, right? You have to say to them, I want this colour, I want this neckline, I need this size, I want this length, specific. Does that make sense? Okay? And it's the same with the universe. When you're putting your vision down, if you want to live in a house, tell the universe, put it out, that's what I want to live. I don't want it for a holiday, I don't want it for a holiday home, I don't want to just visit there on an occasion, I want to live in it. Okay? And the second part is not to be too inflexible. Now, this sounds a bit odd because I've told you to be specific. But the point is, I don't want you to be so specific that you miss out on opportunities. So like that dress, if I turn around and actually said to my husband, I want the Kim Kardashian dress in a size 14, and I want this, and it's got to have the right lace and this, that and the other, and it's got to come from this shop. The chances of me actually getting it actually I wanted a black dress, it comes to here, has this kind of lace and it looks a bit like the Kim Kardashian one, and I might be able to get it on Vinted or eBay or whatever, I'm happy. So what I'm saying is, by all means, don't compromise on your dream, but don't be so dogmatic that you miss out on opportunities. Hope that makes sense. So, emotionally connected. You need to be emotionally connected to your vision in order for it to work. So I'm going to say, make sure what you want is actually what you want, not what everyone else in society is telling you should have. So a lot of people will be like, what house do you want, what car do you want, what holidays do you want? If actually what you want is to have a HelloFresh subscription, put that on your vision board. If what you want is a weekend breakaway every 6 weeks, put that on your vision board. Make it what you want so that you know you can feel the dream. If the car's on your vision board and it doesn't mean anything to you, then it's just wallpaper. The last one on your vision is to be, it needs to try and be not in conflict with limiting beliefs. Now, this one is tricky because limiting beliefs can be, you have conscious ones and we have subconscious ones. Now, the conscious ones are quite easy to deal with. So if I had a dream to be a speaker, but I have a confidence issue, or I believe that I'm not worthy enough or good enough, or I have low self-esteem, I think we can all see where that's going to be a problem. If I have a subconscious, so it's something that is there, but we're not consciously aware of it. So if, for example, I identify subconsciously as someone who's working class, and that's built into my identity, but my vision is to be a millionaire, there's a conflict there. Okay? So this is where the next step comes in. In order to, once you've got the vision, this is where the real work begins. Because in order to create the vision, you need to have at least these two bits. And this is where the big stumbling blocks come. Because a lot of people go, it's law of attraction. We'll work with law of attraction. Now, for those of you who don't know it, most of you would have seen it. It's really popular with The Secret and everything else. It's where like attracts like. Okay? So, this is where you need to, and it will sound a bit woo-woo, I appreciate that, but what I need you to remember is that on an atomic level, everything on this planet is vibrating. That's scientific fact. So when someone turns around and says, raise your vibration, it's your emotion vibrates. And when you're in a lighter emotion, your frequency of that vibration is higher. It works a bit like a sound wave. They've actually, don't ask me how, but they have actually managed to measure that the emotion of love is around 500 hertz. And the emotion of guilt or shame is about 20 or 30 hertz. So, and I know that sounds a bit odd and some people will be doubting it now, but think about it on a daily basis. I bet you we've all had one of those days where we've got up in a really crap mood, we've stubbed our toe, we've spilt our coffee, we're stuck in a traffic jam, and it just goes from bad to worse. Hands up if you've had one of those days. Oh, I'm sure we've had more than that. Now flip it around. You've woke up, you feel refreshed, your favourite music's come on the radio, you've had a bit of a dance in the kitchen, the kids have done exactly what you've asked them to do, you haven't spilled your coffee, your outfit fits, you've got in the car, you've hit every green light, You've gone into a full car park, you've gone round a corner, oh, there's a car just pulling out. What my luck. You've had one of those days, haven't we? It is that principle of like attracts like. Now, this is where your mindset work comes into play. So when you're manifesting that vision you've just worked on, you need to think about how you feel or how you would feel if you had that thing, and get yourself in that position. Does that make sense? Okay. Now there is a massive misconception that all I need is law of attraction. I can feel good, I can do my mindset work, I do a bit of reading, bit of visualization, oh wicked, yeah, and it's all going to fall at my lap. No. Doesn't work like that. Law of attraction is actually one of 12 universal laws, and the next big one is law of co-creation. Basically, you've got to put in the work too. You have to take what I call inspired action. Now there is an issue where people will hustle and work themselves into the ground and think that that's okay. But the problem with that is that you're then being counterintuitive to this side. You're actually draining your energy and leaving yourself at a lower vibration. So when I say inspired action, do something that lights you up. Okay? Now you can't get away with being sat in your comfort zone. A little bit of difficulty or a little bit of fear or discomfort is great. That's growth, getting out of your comfort zone. But if you are taking 4 days to get on with it, and it's making you feel awful inside, then it probably isn't for you. Now with VivaMK, I'll give you an example. Most of us will be in one of two groups. Cataloger or online retail. Most of us. Some of us can do both, and that's fine. But if you're a cataloger, like my dad, I know that if I said to Dad, you've now got to change and go online, his body will fill with dread. Does that make sense? Just know, there's no point in sitting there for 2 weeks going, I've got to do this online, when actually you could have put out 300 catalogues. That's what I mean by inspired action. It doesn't mean sit there and hope that it's going to come to you. Okay, so these together will get you there. But there is one final stumbling block that everyone struggles with, and I too struggle with this. And it's what my mentor calls surrendering to the universe. Basically, have patience. It isn't just going to happen overnight. You have to give it time to do the work. You have to give yourself time to be in the right mindset and in the right vibration. Okay? Now I really struggle with this. The how, like with the house. How am I going to afford that house? I'm not working. I've got the kids. The house prices are going up. But the moment I stopped stressing about it, I booked a holiday to Vegas and went, it's not going to happen. A week later, our house came on the market. It's kind of like that, what they say about love. Stop looking and it will come. There is that element. And it is so hard to do. But you need to remember that if you are frustrating and worrying about how you're going to get that thing, your vibration is stuck at frustration and worry. So what do you think you're going to attract? Okay. So, I'm going to come to a close because Michael will be having kittens. He's waving a white flag at me. Okay, so if you do have any questions, please do follow me, connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, come questions at all. Okay, just before I close, I've got a 1-minute exercise that I do with my mindset work when I'm feeling really frustrated, and it helps me. So bear with me. Thank you. So we're going to relive 3 moments in our lives. And I want you to bear with me and do it with me. So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. And I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Really engage your relaxation nervous system. And again, one more time. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Now what I want you to do now is think back to a time that you are a moment of pure gratitude. True gratitude in your life. It could be from years ago. It could be from today. It could be a big moment, or it could be a little one. But I want you to really fill up with that gratitude. Feel now what you felt then. See what you saw. Hear what you heard. Take another deep breath in. And now think about a moment of unconditional love. Could be with a partner, could be a child, could even be a parent. Really feel that love and fill up with it. Feel the joy. Maybe feel the butterflies, if that fits. Finally, I want you to change that moment to a moment of pure happiness. Really feel your happy moment. Let that joy allow you to fly, in the words of Peter Pan. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back into the room. How are we feeling? Sleepy? Calm? Emotionally, how are we feeling? Happier? Good. That took 1 minute, maybe 1.5. So, by all means, thank you for listening. VivaMK, and I want you to have a great time tonight. Unfortunately, I will not be there because I've got packing to do. So I want to say thank you. And can I ask a massive favour? Most of you know me, so you know I'm quite cheeky like this. Yesterday even, was my mum's birthday. And as I'm not there tonight, can you please make sure she has a good time and a bit